Ladies and gentlemen, Hard Nosed Derby Podcast. I'm back.
Welcome back, prick. Usually it takes a little bit, but no, not tonight. Twisted Tea Peach. And
a little Monaco action.
Well, we've been on skid steers all day.
Oh.
I'm over a skid steer. I can't see how you do it all day. 6 hours and I still can't feel my ass.
Love it.
Love it.
Well, let's talk a little bit about last night.
Wow.
70 cars, give or take.
Usually, our street stocks are, in my opinion, are pretty much of our show. Cars are built a little harder. They don't mess around with them. They turn it up. But the stock show was stupid.
I didn't get up there in the driver's meeting. I would have liked to have been there. I would have changed that run order up just a little bit. I probably would have run the compacts, the gut and goes, then the street stock, then the stock cars.
Well, the reason that I did that was separate the street stock and the stock cars, because we did have one driver that was driving two cars. But actually the gut and go was kind of supposed to be our premiere for the night, to end it. But the caliber of drivers that we had for the stock class, I knew that needed to finish it.
100%. My reasoning on the switching that order up, the track was slick, and it needed to be, because it was stupid hard. And it wasn't muddy. It was slick. No. And Teddy P, he jumped my ass a little bit. You all run a good track. If things would have went the way I wanted it to, it would have been the track that the stock cars got would have been the track that the street stock cars got at the end, because I use the front wheel drives to clean the track up. Everybody gives me shit about that. They get around better. 100%.
But a track of that size, we have to slow them down a little bit. Because if anybody saw your Snapchat from Friday night, it disintegrated a set of tires.
Uh-huh.
I mean, disintegrated. So there's no way that we can let that.
And again, it wasn't muddy. There was no way you could get stuck on that track.
Nope, it was greasy.
Yep.
Just greasy. Nobody was getting stuck. But I've never seen a feature go so long without a red flag.
One red flag?
One red flag. Me and you talked about it after it was all over. Yeah, and I was like,
there's Eddie Chick's wheel.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Eddie's rear. Yep. His right rear tire and wheel.
And the red flag didn't get thrown for a few seconds because it disappeared after it broke off underneath.
Yeah, I couldn't find it. Because I hit the radio and was like, hey, anybody see that tire? The wheel? Because it's not on his car.
It was playing hide and seek.
And then Matt Gill backed up and
there was. Had a killer show, though. I mean, there's discrepancies at each derby. You'll have that.
Every time.
If we make a mistake, we're human.
Yep.
You should have paid us more. Well, I mean, we've got Pickens running around with concrete-filled doors.
Oh, my.
At least that's what some dude's saying. I mean, I've heard concrete and a lot of shit, but I've never heard
cars
no door.
cheated. Trey's is cheated.
Yep.
Cody Irwin and Trey Hammond got more time because they're from Paris.
Yeah.
It's the normal stuff. You got to stay off Facebook.
Well, usually you do.
Yeah.
You've said that in the past. You try to stay off Facebook for a week, but it's just it's hard to do anymore.
I don't care anyway. You know how good I slept last night?
I think you had some help.
Well, there was beer left at the beer garden.
Yes, there was.
I didn't want it to go to waste.
What time did you all go home?
About 3:30 this morning.
He went home at 3:30 this morning.
I might have fell down last night.
But not off the berm.
No, he fell. I think he fell at home. I think maybe kicked a dog or tripped over a dog and
For sure.
just ate shit.
Beat the dog. Kick an old lady. Strike that, reverse it. But
I didn't see any visual bruising.
oh, you don't. I hit her where her shirt's covered up.
So,
But yes, there was a little. We caught a little bit of internet scrutiny. It is what it is. I will go back to my house tonight, lay down, turn my fan on 2, 3, and sleep like a baby tonight. So,
for just a few hours.
right, your words don't hurt me, internet.
We keep saying, a lot of people think, which you got told last night, that from somebody in the stands, that they could do a better job.
And what did I tell them?
Well, spend 30 grand and then come put them on.
Go rent you a facility, get your insurance, get you a bunch of prize money located, buy your trophies.
But I think you actually told the person that they probably didn't have 6 friends that would help them do it.
I might have. I was in the middle of doing something when I got told this, because I was a lot of cocksuckers for a little bit last night.
You were.
And I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'll be a cocksucker.
I can't holler over a microphone and tell somebody to shut the fuck up. I can't do that. I mean, we do have to be politically correct to some extent.
I don't need a microphone.
But no, you don't. No, your voice carries pretty good.
I think she understood.
She didn't say nothing afterwards.
Nah.
So, dude, let's start out with the first class of the night compacts.
Dude, they were turning it up. Uplinger, Baker.
Camden out of retirement. I haven't seen Camden run for
3 years.
at least a couple. I think
Yeah.
maybe Halloween, first year Halloween Havoc,
Yeah.
maybe was his last show, and he come rolling through. Justin passes on the golf cart coming into town. That thing was pretty special to some people last night. There was a kid from Brookfield
Right.
that actually shot himself in the face accidentally.
But he's off life support.
He is off life support, yes. He is speaking. They didn't tell me if he's got to go to any kind of a rehab therapy center,
Right.
to learn. I don't know if he lost motor function or anything, but
Did they pass a hat for him last night?
they did pass it. Nobody told me what it brought.
I got you. I know that I missed out on all that. Like, I didn't. I was too busy getting motherfucked on the dirt.
But it's a good friend of Corey Ludington's son
Yes.
and Patrick and Tyler Pickens. Tyler didn't have a car. His last car he had was completely toast. So,
Not enough concrete in the door.
yeah, not enough concrete in the doors, according to Facebook today. So,
If nobody read that, I know it's going to drop on Thursday, but I would pop over there and check that out. It's worth reading.
yeah, it's pretty comical. But Patrick had a car left from Higbee.
Decent little car.
Yeah, it is. He run it down to second against the Vosmer at Higbee until your lovely limp mode. And it really wasn't a limp mode, but it just wouldn't stay cleared out. It just dog itself and it'd die. So Tyler got in that thing last night, and his normal teammates, Cody Bedworth. Cody was in a different car, and Cody's dad, first time ever in a car, ever run it down to second.
Which
I told
he
Cody
was in Cody's car.
I told Cody over the microphone, I said, I think you picked the wrong car, dude. I think you should have gave Dad the new one.
Because Cody was trying to drive that car like it was his car.
Correct. Yeah, and that was no bueno.
No.
That was a pretty low car count for us on the compact side, but
Probably because Solo Boys didn't show up.
yep, Solo Boys didn't show up.
They didn't bring a car, but they were sure sitting in the stands.
Oh, was they?
Seen a lot of red over there.
A couple back in the pits next to a couple cars I seen.
Boy, I thought, yeah. I'm gonna
They was
leave,
probably just coming to watch us fuck up. I'm sure.
yeah.
It's okay.
I'm gonna leave that.
Love you, Will.
Tyler won it. Scott Bedworth second.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the Mad Dog?
Camden got it.
Camden. And yeah, Camden got third. That's right. So we got third in the Mad Dog.
Jump over in the street stock.
That got wild.
Well, Rob about turned Cody Irwin over.
Yes, he did.
And Trey Hammond.
Yeah. Twicey.
And Rick Hammond.
Oncey.
At one time, I was looking dead in Trey's face. And he was just hanging out like this. And he sit there. He didn't freak out. He kept his scruples about him. And he just kept looking there. But finally, after probably 15 seconds, it just, bloop, come right back down on all fours.
Which Rob was deleting trailing arms.
Yep.
With Junior's wagon.
Yep. So not only
I want to know why that car keeps throwing drive shafts.
I don't know, but Rob's got to have teeth chattered out of his head.
Usually on a head to, nose to nose, it'll kind of make you cringe a little bit, the sound and everything. But anybody that didn't watch the Derby last night, the drive shaft in that wagon was smoking the floor pan of it.
Horseshoe. It was
bent.
Like,
horrible.
you could see the drive shaft turning underneath the car. Like, it was...
Looked like a hammock.
Uh-huh.
And every time he picked up the throttle, it just wop, 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 and you can see the whole car shaking from front bumper to rear bumper. Mr. Cody Irwin.
Him and Teddy P were getting it on.
Yep. Yeah, they were. And that was fun to watch.
That's why Teddy was mad at me, because them solids he was running on that slick track, he couldn't make that Cadillac do what Cadillacs do.
Yeah.
Because Cody was working on him pretty hard on that north end. I mean, Cody was doing 03 things, though.
He was. He cracked me up. Well, I mean, I've known Cody Irwin for, he was probably 5 or 6. His dad used to race with us. So I knew Cody from a long ways back, and then Cody started racing and went to the Derby, and then he raced a little bit, and then he decided he was done racing. Cody come past me from my right to my left as I sit in the crow's nest, and he spun it around and he stopped. And I watched the right hand. He went up and he went, go time, and he stood on it. And it was doing the old snake tailing, but he kept it straight. And, I mean, he smoked that caddy. But what's cool about it, all those guys, they hammer somebody and turn around and thumbs up out the door.
Uh-huh.
Like, yep, we're good. Get it on, dude.
Yeah.
Well,
so they are in a demolition derby.
They are.
I mean, if you don't want to get hit, wrong sport.
Yeah, go knit sweaters or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because...
Or suck dicks.
From which side?
From the back. Oh, my. We're going to get... Yeah. But final 3 was Trey Hammond third.
Rick. Yeah, it was Trey,
Rob in second.
Rick
Hammond in first.
Now, that's where we had a little discrepancy, and whenever the video comes out, I'm going to watch it. And if I robbed Rob, I'll admit to it.
On air.
On air.
We'll admit to it on air.
And I'll buy him a bottle of whiskey.
Or maybe even a champagne of beers.
Ooh, a little high life action.
Yes, I know he gets down on that. So,
but he was cool about it. He told me the way to keep from that happening is don't put it in the promoter's hands. Go ahead and finish it yourself. He didn't have the opportunity.
He didn't.
Because
it finally,
the drive shaft.
that drive shaft.
He was trying to get away from Rick.
Finally said, I'm out.
And like I said, we'll go back and we'll watch it, and if we fucked up, I'll tell everybody we fucked up. But
yeah,
I get it. It happens. I can't take the win from Rick, but
Nope. No, we can't do that.
maybe we'll give Rob an extra plate or something one of these days.
You sure he needs an extra plate?
That Cadillac's not right anyway. Listen to the internet.
Give that wagon an extra plate.
That's what it needs.
Yeah, it needs some more. Big fucking dozer blade off the rear end of it, anyways. I mean, and then we will go to Gut and Goes. That
28 of them.
yeah, we were supposed to. This was supposed to be our big one.
They realized if they would have come up with like 2 more cars, I would have paid them $3,000, right?
Yeah, but 2 other ones were just didn't want to show up.
Non-existent.
Yep, like in the hour and a half surrounding area, they didn't want to bring a van or whatever. But
We are going to do something next year with this van shit. Somebody's going to die.
but here's the
Only
deal:
vans.
it comes down
I
to
don't
it.
care.
I know.
I'm not worried about that at all. I'm
No,
not
the
saying
speed
that-
of these guys are hitting
Holy
somebody.
shit.
Yeah,
Dude, I'm so scared that one of these vans is going to go plumb up inside one of these cars. And it's going to happen. Mark my words. That shit is going to happen.
yeah.
Like you take John's little Honda or whatever he was running last night.
Uh huh.
Gordon was all but inside that car with him
Yep.
at one point.
Yeah.
We can't have that.
Yeah.
So whether we make an only vans class or, do maybe a mini truck, something or other, I think the Gut and Go needs to go back to cars and cars alone. Because we could even do the van crossover class. Like, I'd be
Yeah.
okay with that.
Like a van Equinox,
Yeah,
know,
some
that
shit
we
like
talked
that.
about before.
Or, small SUVs, whatever.
That
Whenever I've got guys parking and getting out because they're worried about a van coming through their car, maybe it's time to start looking at something.
which Bank Don't Care has explained that. He said, the vans have their purpose, but he doesn't, and he's Cody's
Every time
run
we've
vans.
had a big payout for the Gut and Go,
Sedan
a
wins the
sedan's
damn
won it.
thing.
Which probably wouldn't have last night if Gordon's shit hadn't quit.
I couldn't even tell what
Got
happened.
hot.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you right now.
Well, see, he left all that shit hooked up in the back of it. So whenever that heater cord broke in the back, where all your
He
rear,
left the evap
yeah,
back there.
and it got hot, it'll run all water out of it.
Yeah, there's a thing called you remove that, pinch those lines off so it can't delete
Yeah, I think
itself.
he might be regretting that this morning.
Probably. But, dude, I'm telling you right now, Riley Walden,
His old man.
Riley was rail to rail with the back ass of that van. And I'm talking rail to rail. And then his old man was doing the same thing on the other end of it. I knew they were going to bring 3. Evidently, they didn't get Dawson's done because Dawson was riding with Riley. I will tell you, Brent Farnan hit Riley so hard in the left front, right below me,
I saw
that it did a battery delete.
out of the floorboard.
It exploded the battery.
Well, he did. Like, he come in there, and I've never seen anybody turn into a wheel like that. He buried alumina. The front bumper of that alumina was past the strut tower.
Yep.
I seen them. They were like, "All right, we'll get out." Like, all right, we're done.
Yeah, because the battery, when it exploded, it actually went under the passenger seat.
That's a good thing.
But the problem is the passenger seat is roughly, 4 inches off the floorboard. The battery was under that. I said, was that fun? He looked at me, he said, that was fun. But I think he's close enough to that Mississippi River. I think he might have a few screws loose up there too.
I agree.
Well, I had that one van took a shot right in front of Stephen and Lish, and he was coming out of that corner, and he turned just right and got ass end to ass end, and it made enough that Stephen stood straight up because we were both looking. We were both looking at that driver because he got rocked.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. My tech at work, second Derby ever. He finished 5th, Tanner Dowling, in an older Toyota Sienna van. And, I mean, it was hard. It's straight. I mean, the ass is hard.
Can we talk about Farnan for a second?
Brent not right Farnan.
Him and Dylan Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
Because I told Brent after the Derby, I was like, man, you probably had a car that would have won this.
But if anybody's ever watched Brent Farnan, there is no mute button.
Did you see him go backwards so hard when he hit that van down there on the north end? It blowed the back doors open, the top of it. Because everybody's like, why did he get Mad Dog? I was like, well, why wouldn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, there was.
He was north to south.
Which I gave every Mad Dog $100 out of my pocket.
Plus their Zane T Chick trophies.
Yeah.
You had Brent Farnan going stupid. You had Riley Walton going stupid. You had Chad Walton going stupid. Tanner Dowling going stupid. I mean, those guys were going for Logan.
Was getting pretty nasty there for a minute.
I don't know what happened to Dylan.
It looked like he blowed the front strut and axle up of it.
Did he?
Yeah.
He was nose towards me to my right, and I couldn't see it. I saw him. He was one of the first ones out, and that's not normal for him.
No, not at all.
You know.
Well, back to Brent real quick. You know, we were talking about that track being big. What did you measure? An extra 54 feet?
Yeah.
Brent found it.
Oh, yeah, he used every bit of it.
He found it.
Yeah, that dude he doesn't have a doesn't have a mute button.
So who was the winner on that one? What was the guy's name?
Brandon Garr.
That's right.
Second place, Josh Gordon. Third place,
John
Petrosky.
Yep.
It decided it needed to catch fire a couple times.
I couldn't believe Pickens got out of it. And then you said something, and Pickens got back in it.
I didn't say it to pimp him.
Well, you surely did.
But I was like, well, yeah, it's a little hot under there. Tyler says he's out. And next thing I know, I turn around and see Tyler putting his helmet back on, jump back in it.
I wouldn't have caught back on fire. That was exhaust. It was what did the second big fireball, but I think he was ready to get out of it anyway.
Yeah.
Because it was stuck wide open.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because when I got her fired back up, she was one.
Yeah.
Who was the car that did not get the cat off?
Jason Rickman.
Jason Riekman and Kyle Gruber.
He was spitting chunks of that thing out.
It looked like a
back
Roman candle.
afterwards. You know, that second Derby they've ever run.
Yep.
in.
It's the first one they caught fire.
He caught fire
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah. So he comes up to me after the Derby and he's like, what did you think? I was like, you guys are retarded. First off.
We've run that for a long time.
I was like, why did you not cut the exhaust off? Well, we didn't know. I was like,
Fair enough.
I said, were you all looking for fire number 2? I was like, that car is a pile of shit. And they're like, what's wrong with our car?
And
They're
it was
like,
in
it's cashing a check.
It was like in the same spot
Uh-huh.
as the first year they caught.
It
I
was.
think they had a blast.
Oh, they did. He was just Roman candle shooting out of it. And I thought, and I kept tried to watch, and I was like,
Well, everybody hit me on the headset. They were like, there's a fire. I was like, I don't think it's on fire yet.
Yeah. I know a couple of the fire guys down there by us. They were like, it's awful red under that car. I'm like, not a fire, just the exhaust glowing.
yeah, it was the entire exhaust. What he had left of it was glowing. Yeah, Jason's second Derby ever. He pulls a fourth, and Tanner's second Derby ever. He pulls a fifth. Them boys showed up. I mean, but
We had 50 cars in 2 classes.
yeah.
That's insane. I never know what we're going to get. You know that?
No.
It's a roll of dice.
No, we've talked about it. Last October, we had 38 stock cars where we figured we'd have 15, and we figured we'd have 15 compacts, and there was like 32 of those.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
64 gun guns.
Yeah, they were.
Well, between the gut and goes and the stock car, or and the
We had 100.
compacts, there was 100.
Yeah. So we had
And
70
then-
in the other 2 classes.
And then there was 70 between the street stock and the stock class.
yeah. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So I think we had 68 cars at Paris. I think 65 of them ran across the track. I'll take it.
Oh, yeah.
For the car counts that have been thrown around this summer, I'll take it. And what time we wrap her up? 10:30, 11 o'clock?
10.
9:30.
9:30.
9:30.
I sat there on the block there outside.
3-hour show.
Yeah,
Love it.
I sat there on the block and was talking to 2 or 3 of the drivers, and while they were taking out some.
Well, I
of
put
the
in a good
stuff.
5 hours of drinking then.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, because I looked at my watch
Plus-
and I was like, it's not even, of course, military time. I was like, it's not even 2200 yet, and they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's not even 10 o'clock. They're like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, beer garden's still open.
Yeah. Yeah.
That went over well.
It did. Yeah.
We sold about 60 cases, 60, 70 cases of beer.
Fucking lightweights. We go to Palmyra and sell 105. I thought Paris dudes could
125.
drink.
Well, what'd you sell at Mother's Day Madness?
105 cases.
5, 10, something like that.
something like
Yeah. Palmyra people gonna outdrink Paris people. What the hell?
that. There was about 2,000 more people
Well,
in Palmyra.
Yeah, there
so I
was.
guess numbers to beer drank was probably
Yeah. Because I looked down there and I saw Harvey and Willie Ransdell and all them. I was like, oh, God.
I'm sure Harvey put a dent in the culture.
He started putting a dent. Well, speaking of Harvey, we are going to give him a shout. Harvey Blades Cattle Company delivered a kick-ass John Deere skid steer.
333.
Downtown, Mr. Alan Brown himself delivered one on Thursday
I
as well.
can't thank that dude enough. He, out of all the people that had offered to help, he was the guy that needed his at home
Yep.
to work.
And what he said,
And he said, I don't go back on my word. I told you you could have it. Here it is.
Yeah, he told me after.
And that, I don't know if you, like, that goes a long way in my book.
yeah, a man's word is a man's word, and he kept it. And he
Yeah.
said he put
And
in
he
the
had
work
some
with that
cold
thing.
Mick Ultras in the back of his truck that I kept sneaking off to every now and again.
Yeah.
Well, my cooler that was full of your Miller Lite,
She got-
Gone.
there's a few still in there, but
There
there's
wasn't.
not many.
Now, Jordan Bowman put those in there.
Like, say
Yeah,
Jordan,
she cleared it out.
said Jordan he come up to me. He's like, "Isn't that your maroon truck?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Steve said something about a cooler full of Miller Lite in the back." I'm like, "Gray cooler, gray and green Pelican cooler." He said, "Yeah, it's empty." I'm like, "It wasn't empty when I pulled up here."
But Jay Matheny Construction and JB Concrete,
Yes.
they brought one Thursday. Yep.
Yeah.
Thursday night.
So they brought one Thursday. Side and Stricker, Noby
Out of Macon.
partners out of Macon, they delivered one as well.
We kind of got to give it up to Austin Schaefer on that one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Austin made that happen. Yeah, he did. And there were so many people. David Chick and his wife.
Oh,
I mean, we had to literally Friday night shut the lights off on the dude, or he would have kept. I don't know when he would have either run out of fuel
right. Yeah.
or
Whatever.
dirt.
Yeah.
I mean,
But he done a good job making them berm straight cut.
Oh, yeah.
I put him
Oh,
in there
yeah.
with Pete on it.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Berry,
Yes. Baldwin Farm.
Baldwin Farms.
Yeah.
He brought a kick-ass Kubota and he wheeled that. He run it for 2 days solid.
Mobile sandblast.
Yep, mobile sandblast, and he brought another little John Deere over.
Who brought the little John Deere tractor? That's how
That was that was David Chick.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
what's
brought his
David?
own. Yep. I don't know, a little 35 horse or something like that.
Yeah,
you know.
And he told whoever needed it when they were loading.
Yep.
loading
Just
stuff,
don't
said,
don't pick up cars.
Yep.
Push them all you want. Just don't pick them
Push
up.
them or pull them.
So, you know, we'll give those shout outs because without that, we would have been hand building a track.
Yeah. I've been running around on a unicycle with 2 shovels.
It took 2 days to build it and took 6 hours to tear it apart.
Well, me and
And who was the dude with us?
Jamie Martin.
Jamie Martin. He
He's an operator out of 513.
yes, he is.
yeah,
And
you
that
can
man-
tell he's an operator.
that man
I was just
slipped
trying to
on.
stay out of your all's way
What happened, Steven?
because I'm a dirt mover. These guys are, you know, like grade professionals. So.
Did you see us whenever we had them skid loaders side by side pushing that in?
Buddy dozing.
Oh, yeah. You can push more than you can pack.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, when Alan Brown dropped his off, he told me and you. He said, he said this thing's a hog. He said, only thing is it's got slick tracks on right now. And I told him last night, I said, if you wasn't joking, I said, if that thing would have had actual bite, I said, you couldn't have stopped it with anything.
Yeah, I noticed that today. I was trying to push a pretty good pile, and I could just... I was like, yeah, tracks are slipping. So we'll get off that. Let's go to stock class. 23 of them.
Yeah, 23 or 20, yeah, something like that.
23.
And holy shit.
Speaking of Alan Brown, he just texted.
We had some Eddie boys.
Unbendable cars, remember?
And every one of them bitches bent. Every one of them.
So they wadded Junior Eddie up in the corner down there by me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I could have stepped off on his hood where they were beating on him down there. And he looked up at me with a grin from ear to ear. And he's like, can I get out? I was like, yeah, get up here. And he jumps out. And he's like, that's the most fun I've ever had at one of these shows. He said, we finally had something to run against.
Yeah, some get right.
You know, like,
Yeah.
he said it wasn't us just out here beating on each other. He said everybody showed up and showed out tonight. And he's like, and you can tell everybody that our cars will bend. As he was pointing at everything that was just snoot.
Jarek's was way up in the front.
Oh, yeah, you could have changed the oil in it without ever getting underneath the car.
Yeah, I don't even think you had to lay down. I think you can just kind of squat down.
They piled Junior up in front of you, and then they piled, who was the other one they piled right next to him?
Jarek was right behind it.
Yeah.
Right behind it, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know I know the Eddie boys, but I can't tell you who's who.
And if anybody found Junior's fire jacket, it's gone. Whenever he got out of his car, he set it on the concrete block. I don't know.
Oh, nice.
Hopefully it reappears, but maybe some kid got a nice souvenir.
Well, that's possible. He said somebody probably needed it more than I did.
That's the way Junior is,
For sure.
you know. But, dude, you had a couple Shelby boys.
Gil was turning it up.
Drew told me all week, he's like, I got to finish it. I got to pull my shit out. So he come through tech and did his thing, and I said, you sending it? He said, full.
And sent it, he did.
Yes.
Did you see him when he didn't have no steering?
He was using the throttle steering.
I think he had his hands in his lap. And or pushing his foot down harder.
Yep. Yeah, but it bent.
And Gil's motor was screaming.
See, it's my favorite. 358 cubic inches.
Of fire-breathing nastiness.
It's a wicked bitch. She even come through tech, and somebody turned around and he said, what in the hell is that? I
That's
said,
a
358 and a good piece. He says, my 358 don't sound like that. I said, well, it's there to play.
I talked to Gil after it was over, and he was like, I think that was the best possible outcome for me.
It was.
In the group that it come down to.
Yes, it really was.
Which it kind of come down to a Bad Boys show at the end of that.
Last
The top four, right?
Mm-mm.
No.
4 out of 5.
That's right.
311C Eddie Chick run 5th. Matt Gill run 4th. Zane T
Third.
got 3rd. Trey 2nd. Rob won.
first.
Yes.
In that cheated Cadillac.
Yep. Yeah, that it's cool when it comes down to those two, because when it comes down to Rob and Trey,
Dude, Rob tries to walk the dog on
he
it.
does, and Trey ain't taking no shit.
Absolutely not.
But I want to legitimately see it when they both have steering and one's not sent to the sky. You know.
Trey texted me Friday night when we got the track done, and I was like, check this track out. You know, I put it on Snapchat. And I got it back. I got a snap back from him, and he said, I'm going to use the whole thing.
Yeah.
And use the whole thing. He did.
He found the extra 54 feet.
Yeah, that's...
Junior Eddie got the mad dog in that class.
He did.
He was turning that LS for everything it had.
It is so hard when you do $1,000 overall Mad Dog. It is really so hard because you have to go back and play the other classes in your head too.
Right.
Of how long did they last? Did they only make a couple shots? Were they really big shots, or are they making really good shots continuously? Rob and Trey both were doing work.
100%.
I mean,
and they were in the running for the Mad Dog.
yes.
They weren't going just insane
Correct.
like Junior was. That's what got him that Mad Dog. And you can go back and look on that video. It did not matter what or who was in front of him.
He was hitting them.
Hard. Because at one point, I think he hit Jarek.
He did.
Like, hard.
Yeah, Jarek's nose was already up, and Junior was like, sorry, dude.
Yep, here you go.
Take some of that.
And that's what I love about those dudes. Because they show up, show out.
Yeah, it's all of them. Caden, Jarek, Junior, Denny Weaver, Aaron.
Weaver cracks me up.
Yeah.
Because he don't give a shit.
Nope.
Nothing.
He will
don't
cut
care about
anything
nothing.
you ask him to. He will not
Guaranteed.
bitch about it. He just rolls on with it, and he comes back up. We good? We're good.
Me and him were talking about his unique steering setup. I have to tell you about that later.
Is that the one that I got a picture showed of?
Yeah.
I want to investigate that.
No bueno.
No bueno?
No. See, I've done some reading on that. Say if you get frame rail pushed back or something,
Uh-huh.
it'll twist. It won't try to steer.
We're not going to throw them out of what it is, but
It's cool, though.
it is cool as shit. Yeah.
I had read about it, though.
There's that thinking out of the box.
Right. Because everybody was like, what about that? I was like, don't worry about that little guy.
Don't worry about that little guy.
I mean, there's nothing. You can have aftermarket steering.
Oh, yeah. Just not front suspension,
True that.
you know, so. But that was,
He cracks me up, though, because that dude, you could make a terrible call on him, and he'd get out and be like, nah. Can we do better on the next one, guys?
sure we'll try. You know.
Or if something bad happens, or, he gets his shit junked, he gets out laughing. Which all them Eddie boys are like that. Every
are.
one of them. You see GHE, you see those
You
cars
see the
show up?
GHE, and you're going to see a show. You're going to hear on the chip. You're going to hear
And everybody
everything.
says their shit won't bend, and I kind of talked to them about it a little bit because I've watched them run a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, since they started coming down this direction, I've pretty much seen everywhere that they've run, been there, or at our shows. They do run the balls off those cars. Like, hard. They're always on the gas, but they make good shots.
Yes.
Last night was a little different. Junior was pinballing. That dude was everywhere. But normally they're looking for wheel shots. 45s. They're not taking dumb shots to shift frames and
They're not hitting second gear smoking somebody in the passenger door.
No.
They're not doing that shit.
No.
They might run right square up somebody's ass,
but it'll be square.
but it'll be square.
And they're taking you to the burn with things.
Yep,
Yep.
and their every intention is to get you to one side or the other.
Yep.
I mean, that's just so cool about them guys.
Well, and that's why I like watching Rob and Teddy and all these Eddie even.
Yep.
Zane T was driving the wheels off that car last night. He looked like he'd been in 15 derbies.
But what was really cool is that even when we talked to Eddie at his shop, him and Sean Pfeiffer, been buddies for a long time. Their kids were getting it on
Oh yeah,
the north end. And I mean getting it on.
which is great. That's
Yes.
awesome.
He said just throwing the thumbs up to each other, and Austin come and talk to me afterwards, and he said, I don't know what happened. He said, took the green flag. He said, I turned, stood on the gas, and he said, I have zero steering.
Yeah, he said he lost it right off the green flag.
He said, green flag. He said,
Oh,
less
Pfeiffer.
than, yes,
Yeah,
Austin
that's what
Pfeiffer. He said, less than 5 seconds, I had no steering. Justin Morgan was in there with him, family. And he looked at Justin. Justin was like, what are you going to do? He's like, sending it. Sent it, he did.
Well, yes, he did. And I seen him down there, and he was running which his old motor didn't sound horrible.
Oh no, it's I think it's a little 283, but it's a wicked 283.
So I was talking to him after the Derby, and he was talking about Justin being in there. We've all talked about Justin's driving style.
Yep.
He's conservative
Until he has to not
yeah,
be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Meticulous, even. You know, I mean,
Yep.
like he's always looking for that shot, that shit. Well, little Pfeiffer was out there, and I seen him. He was on my end of the track, and I heard wop 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 wop, and I looked over, and Justin was going, "Stop it!"
Well, that's one of them things where Austin will learn
Or he
as he
won't.
gets older, or he won't, period. Justin and Sean drive a lot of the same.
Right.
You know, they've been on, I couldn't tell you how many derbies that them two dudes have ran, but it's a
Well,
lot.
What I like about the whole Eddie and Sean battle,
Uh-huh.
if you will, them guys, you never know who's going to get who.
Not a clue.
Eddie tries to, he's like a mosquito. Because, like, normally whenever you get to see that rivalry, Eddie's in a new style Ford, and Sean will be an old iron.
Yep.
Well, Eddie won't even give him a chance to turn it around.
No.
You know, he's out there just, you know, short
Just
stroking
pestering,
him,
just
just
pestering
pestering the
it.
shit out of him. I watched him do it in Shelby one night. I
For
mean,
like 20 minutes.
oh, you could see Sean was getting pissed off. Eddie was laughing. Like,
Yeah.
he knew, because Eddie didn't have a car. He had pulled that down to try to win some points.
And it was in no shape to
It
be pulled
was
down. It was
junk.
horrible.
But
Yeah.
he stayed out there. I mean, Sean finally got him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was, I mean, it was a full 15, 20 minutes of Eddie just
a
all
gnat.
over him.
Just a pecker gnat
Oh,
flying around that you
over
just
him.
cannot kill.
Sean get away from him for a minute, and there he was again.
Well, Eddie last night he was kind of driving it like he was an old iron.
He took a couple good hits.
Oh, yes.
That one where he was sitting in the middle of the track, and they drove up the ass end of that car.
Yep. So that's 2 shows that he's ran of ours that he took it in the ass from like half track
Yeah.
shots. And
Palmyra, wow. Austin fed it to him up there.
yeah. And then I don't know which one of it was that fed it to him last night, but
There's one of Eddie boys.
when there's 6 of them out there, it's hard to try to zoom in to
Everything-
see who they're hitting.
Everything happened so fast in that class.
Yes.
And that class had one red flag.
Yeah.
That's
One
it.
red flag. That's the
One.
longest I've ever seen a feature go without a red flag. Whether it's something stupid, bumper,
And it
fire,
wasn't
wheel, whatever. And then it was Eddie's wheel after it already got down to top 5.
Yeah.
and it
And then we went green after that, and it
Yes, it never.
and it was done.
Yeah.
And that wheel shot he took was a small, very shallow, glancing blow. Like it was
he
not
was
a solid,
spinning.
Yeah,
whenever it
wasn't-
happened.
But it wasn't a solid, a good hard solid.
It didn't have. It doesn't have to be, because I think
Yeah.
that's a 9-inch in that car. It's either that or a 10 bolt.
I think 9
but
inch.
when
But-
it broke off, you heard it.
I think it was wheel hopping a little bit, and he was on it. And whenever he took that little blow, it stopped that wheel, broke an axle.
And I mean, it made that pop.
You should have seen Mr. Eubanks' rear end. When they picked the car up, it was running 80-90 out the housing.
Ooh.
He's been sending me Snapchats.
The
all
end of
day.
the housing or the middle of the housing?
In the middle.
Oh,
It
shit.
looked like a tube to me. Because they lifted it up, and I said, Drew, what's that? He said, not good.
Not good. Oh, Drewy.
Oh, I know when they took the one Eddie Boy's car off. I mean, he had a tire just hanging down, dragging the ground.
That boy that come down with Brett White
Uh-huh.
in that Lincoln made a decent run.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
His starter was laying on the track.
Was that tannish colored
Yeah.
Yep.
Lincoln?
No paint, no stickers, no nothing. Just, I think, just a roof sign, and that
Yeah.
was it. But that bitch was clean.
And it held up.
Brett was sitting at the tech line. I said, "Dude, serious?" He's like, "I'm gonna get one more out of her." I was like, "Is this one from Shelby? Because that was bad." He said, "No." He said, "This was last year's that I ran here last fall." He said, I figured I've got some other cars that I need to pay more attention to. And that was a square body GM.
It was a Caprice.
And it was toast. I think he was on the receiving end of Drew with no steering.
He was. That's what I told him after the Derby. I was like, I think he drew short straw. Because Drew had no steering and was headed your direction at a high rate of speed.
Yep. And then somebody was heading up Drew's rear end at a high rate of speed.
It might have been Gil. Because Gil was trying to get off that wall over there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I know there one time I was looking just straight down the track. You'd see 7D go east to west, and then you'd see 11F. They were just trading because the one had steering.
Yep.
But they were just poking and stroking for whatever they could hit, just trading spots.
All in all, killer show.
Was a good show.
We couldn't really, I mean, we had some weather that was kind of
Crowd was a
frightening.
little light, in my opinion.
There was a mud run going on. There was a
Two mud
tractor
runs.
pull, 2 mud runs. Yeah,
One was City and Higbee.
One at Higbee,
And then a
then
tractor pulling Madison.
yeah, you know, we were right in the middle of it. You know, so
Which I'll never bitch about the fans that showed up, because they always do. They show up. They're loud. They support the drivers. They call me cocksucker.
Yep.
I love them.
we did a 50-50 raffle for
Michelle Hollingsworth.
Michelle Hollingsworth here in Paris.
How did that turn out?
$1,194 total. You know, so we're not going to go into logistics of what's going on with her, but
No.
that just goes to show you the support.
Yep. And we try to do something like that
Yep.
for everybody.
Yep.
Yep. But can we stamp it?
Done.
Bitch, it's stamped. Guess what? We go to Shelby in 2 weeks.
I'll be just coming off the road. It'll be perfect.
Labor Day.
just coming off the road.
Coming from being a worker on a Labor Day to work
Yeah.
at Derby.
I'm done for the year.
Almost.
Monday, September 5th, Labor Day, Shelby, Missouri.
Monday. Shelby,
Yes.
Missouri.
I ain't heard that in forever.
Shelby County Showdown. Be there.
It is Shelby County Showdown.
That show's going to start at like 4. I think.
I guess I should have paid attention to the flyers that got handed to us yesterday.
True that. I got one.
You
handy
got
here.
one? Okay.
So what you're saying, starting early, and earlier, you're going to have time for the beer garden again?
No.
No, they probably won't have a beer.
Oh, yeah, there'll be a
did they?
beer garden.
Beer garden.
4
Last-
p.m.
4 p.m. to start time.
Yep. Which I want that show over by 7:30.
Oh.
We done it last
That way
night.
we can get everybody home.
No, we didn't last year.
No,
No,
because we
last
had
night.
100 and some fucking cars show up.
We had 100 cars and we were done before 9:30.
Yeah.
You know, and we didn't start until 5:30. So yeah, I mean 100 cars in 4 hours. So
So hopefully we've got that 60, 70 car count again. The only thing is I hope we didn't hurt it this year.
well, there was some.
Because there was a lot of junk made here.
There was, but
But I talked to the Eddie boys and they said, we'll see you.
see you in 2 weeks.
I was like,
They
watch
probably
it
didn't
and run
say
it.
2 weeks, but Jarek, the wagon, I think is finally toast.
It kind of needed to be.
Yeah. But Caden and Aaron's and Juniors, I think that'll be run again. Denny brought a fresh one.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to him last night.
He got down there kind of in a little pile, and I just
Yeah.
couldn't see nothing. But Shelby, Alicia's hometown, my hometown.
Oh, I know what happened to Weaver's car. The linkage come off his carburetor. He said I went to hammer it and I didn't have no hammer. Because I looked at him, I was like, what are you doing? And this was after the show, and he said, I've got nothing. He said, I got no throttle.
How many old school dudes like him always runs a hand throttle just in case?
I would say he was regretting that decision.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks. Shelbina, I expect a lot of cars. I really do. There were some cars that were trying to get finished for last night
Right.
that didn't get finished. Do I expect 100?
No.
I don't. There's kind of too much stuff going on. We're not going to try to toot our own horns, but we are usually, I think we've been leading the race on car counts.
Yeah, I mean, I would say
For
with
the
overall totals, yeah, I'd say we're...
Phone call the other day, they kind of tell us we're in one of the big three. You know, the three main promoters on Jeff City North.
Right.
That just, I think, tells a lot of people, you know, that we're up front.
We try.
We try to be.
I mean, and I do. I get it. Like, these people think that I'm bitching whenever I'm like, well, I was a motherfucker last night. No, I'm fine with that. But I would almost rather you come and talk to me.
Correct.
And kind of tell me what I'm doing wrong. Because I can't fix nothing if you're just going to scream and call me a cocksucker. Like, I understand, because at that point, I know you're upset. I'm not 100% sure what you're upset about.
Correct. Yeah, let us know what you're upset. Let us know why you're mad.
Yeah. And Rob did, 100%.
Yeah.
He explained it to me very sternly.
Very sternly.
I took a very polite ass chewing from him.
Not a polite fuck you, just a polite ass chew.
Well, he's like, well, I'm mad, but I'll get over it. Is what he said.
And he said it was a smile.
And I understand that you're mad.
Yep.
Let's get this over with. We'll go have us a beer and we'll talk about it. You know, and that's just that solves a lot more of the
and
world issues.
there is issues, and we do have a lot of guys on the dirt. The communication was a little off last night. I think my headsets may cause some of that issue, and we are going to look into that. Because I couldn't hardly hear Jerry at all. I could hear Tony pretty good. Dudley, nothing. And Lish was running around with a walkie with no headset.
With a skirt on and never showed anybody her ass the whole time. She never fell down. She never
even showed me
I
her
think
ass.
she covered the track north to south as much as Farnan and Cody Irwin.
I ain't no joke.
Yep. Yeah, she's wide open.
But, Shelbina, let's do this. Let's make that happen. Let's pull
Tech
back
starts
on...
at 10.
Yep. Let's pull this back, this episode. We'll come back with some more information and better stuff, because next week, whenever we drop that bitch, let's drop the team show information.
Team show and Halloween Havoc information is what's going to go on next week. So we will have a guest live in the studio next week.
Which it may be Derek again next week. We will see what happens.
This you on work vacation. That shit's getting old.
You're telling me. If not, maybe I can jump in if you've got him here. Maybe you can call me.
Yep.
While they're in the skid loader.
Yeah.
From a skid loader. I mean, I did take a phone call on the skid loader today while I was running it. So
well, and I mean, I can break away for 15, 20 minutes to at least talk to our loyal fans
on the new Bluetooth conference speaker.
Oh shit!
You can be the first person to try it out.
There we go. But anyway, Shelbina, Paris is over. We're moving on. This podcast was pretty much just about that.
Make junk, boys.